Oh, are we on yet?
We are live. Kurt Valenti, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick, how are you, my friend?
Doing well, and right off the bat, bringing in our one of our
Oh, look
weekly
at this.
right
What's
at
up, fellas?
right at
How
the
we doing?
start. Right
There
at the
he
start,
is.
perfect timing.
What's
I'm a
going
little
on, Carson?
Not much. How you guys doing?
You
Kurt,
know
I
what?
was upset, man. I was looking forward to the Michigan State Virginia game last night, and all of a sudden they
I
cancel it.
I know,
Was
I
looking
know.
forward to
Jenny
watching that
Hoops, Jenny Hoops was pumped up for that too. But
tonight. Yeah.
you know what?
That's
I told Jenny Hoops I did a little FanDuel and I took Michigan State. But shh.
Ah.
But otherwise, I'll tell you this. We'll get into it later, Carson. But a lot of talk on Denver radio this week on whether or not the Lions are gonna look to trade Stafford and should Denver get Stafford. So we'll get into that later. But lots of talk all week on Denver radio here.
Interesting.
So
Gotcha.
I'd be the only one in New Jersey that listens to Denver
I
Broncos.
do, I do,
That's a loyal fan. I'll give you that.
absolutely.
Real quick, I know we joke around a lot and we always have fun on the show, talk sports, do stuff we like, but I want to send a big thank you to Kurt and Jen for doing what's on his little board there, Toys for Tots.
Yes.
Sending out some toys to some needy kids this year, especially this year. Kurt, if you want to explain, we did it yesterday on our show. We explained what you guys did. Why don't you explain what you and Jen did?
Yeah, we started it with our all in on high school sports, but obviously we also do it with the K&K Sports Show. And there's been a lot of people who've been donating. We decided, especially with this shirt, all this going around, do a little Toys for Tots donations. So, a lot of people have been very generous donating. And again, if anyone else wants to donate, please reach out to us, let us know. And we have to bring it in Saturday morning early. We're leaving like 8 o'clock to bring it to the spot in Dover. But hopefully, it's something nice for the kids. So anyone else would like to donate, please
Are
let
the
us
toys
know.
downstairs or are they upstairs?
What, the toys?
Yeah.
No, the toys are upstairs right now.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to show us what the living room looks with the toy
It
area.
looks pretty good, actually. Jody, my sister Jody, just dropped off a bunch of stuff. I don't know what Jen was with her, so. But that's it. I got to go tomorrow. I got to get one more couple things in Target. I went a little sporty, guys. I did like some footballs, I did a wiffle ball bat. I got
Nice.
all the
Way to go.
sports stuff I did for the kids. So,
Absolutely.
Sweet.
but
Absolutely.
what we got, Mr. Kirkpatrick, on the portion tonight?
Well, we had some big news in college football. We could, Ohio State, some Big Ten news. Perfect time for Carson to be on.
Yeah, I like to get his opinion on what happened.
We got our normal college and football picks, but we got some topics and discussions to bring up too. We can do
Okay.
little NFL, head coaching searches. I know the Lions
Okay.
and some other can be looking for some coaches.
All right,
We get some little predictions out there. Have a little fun with it.
all right.
But,
You want to start with that with Kenny? You want to start the Ohio State thing with Carson?
Absolutely. Why don't you tell the news to the audience? And then
So basically, the whole story this week is actually last week on Ohio State was I think it was Ohio State, Michigan State, and they were saying how with the COVID and everything that they had to play last week's game and this week's game against Michigan to qualify, to have enough games to qualify to play in the Big Ten championship. There were, rumors on, now if they don't go, how could they get to the college football playoff? But what did the Big Ten do? The Big Ten changed the rules, allowed them now to go into the Big Ten championship game without playing the total amount of games that they had to. And it's them and Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game next week. So, Carson, we'll start with you. Do you think it was fair that the Big Ten changed the rule for them?
I have mixed emotions about this. Like, I get it because I understand what's going on in the world. It's a really weird time right now, and I understand there's health implications, and there's a reason why Michigan, Ohio State is not being played this year because players getting COVID, coaches are getting COVID. I get it, but at the same time, though, a rule's a rule. You don't see this too often where they change the rule in the middle of the season. They add rules here and there, but it's normally after the season ends. So the teams and the players and the coaching staff and everybody knows, okay, this is the qualifications. We have to meet the requirements. And if we don't fulfill the requirements, we can't get the privilege to go to the Big Ten championship. So I understand what they're coming from, but it's such a tough call because I believe, I mean, obviously Ohio State is obviously the best team in the Big Ten, but
Right.
with that exception of the rule, I can kind of understand it. But when I first heard it, I was kind of caught off guard. But now it's going to be probably Northwestern and Ohio State, like you said, for the Big Ten championship. So it's going to be interesting. But it's there's picks and bones I'm picking with them. It's Ohio State. I would have loved to see Ohio State and Michigan battle it one last time before, because that's like, you don't know what's going to happen with that game, because that's like one of the biggest rivalries in all of sports in general. So it's a shame it's not going to happen, but I get where they're coming from. So I'm not a fan of the rule, but I understand why they did it.
Carson, couple comments for you. Joe Monty saying, Carson, ticket time raid.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
And Stroll, we got another comment from Stroll time is incredible. Danielle S. Carson, ticket
hey, what's up,
time
Danielle?
raid.
How you doing?
So thank you guys for joining.
Morning, Joe and Danielle. And by the way, audience that's listening out there in Facebook land and YouTube land, Carson Shear, Ticket Time YouTube channel, joins us each week for weekly picks and discussions. And we'll get into Carson's streams. He streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And his other channel, Carson Claus, you can check him out on those YouTube channel as well.
And Danielle saying, welcome, Carson is awesome. So, but you know what, Kenny? Carson hit it right on the head. You know, a couple things. Well, I was listening to Bear today on a podcast, and he was saying you feel for like Indiana, because now Indiana got beat. Indiana did lose to Ohio State. So how could, like Carson says, they're the best team. How are they not in? But it could have been a fun year, like if Indiana was eligible to go to that Big Ten championship. But you know what it comes down to? They said the Big Ten. If the Big Ten gets, if your conference gets one of your teams in the college football playoff, that conference makes $6 million. So is the Big Ten really going to screw themselves and say, okay, let's not put Ohio State in? You know, like they want Ohio State to get in, right? You know, and you're right, though. They are the best team. But I also agree with you where a rule is a rule. You know, they shouldn't have never had that rule. Then there would be no problem. You know?
Right.
And I'll just say, you guys both hit it on the button. Carson hit all the points. Kurt, you hit the point with the money. Money talks. Who's going to sell? Who's not only going to make them $6 million, they're going to make more than $6 million with Ohio State.
Of course.
Ohio State's going to sell. And, the only other thing I would add on it is, now that the Big Ten did this, you're going to see the Pac-12 probably do this, even though there's really nobody in the Pac-12 that can really, go to the playoff. You're probably going to see the Pac-12 possibly do this for major bowl games.
Kenny, I don't want to interrupt you, but real quick, couple comments on the situation. We're getting a comment from Bryce saying, sadly, it's good for Ohio State, but come on. Also, the committee will probably put them in the playoffs, so there are not two SEC teams unless Florida beats Alabama, which is highly unlikely. Joe Monty saying, I think it was unfair to bend the rule just because it's Ohio State. I'm with them, like it's like you're saying, it's torn because are they the best team in the Big Ten? Yes, but they shouldn't bend that rule. I agree with that.
The last point I wanted to make on it is, are they going to do it? 95% no. But now that leaves the door open for college football to change a rule.
Oh, exactly.
Go with an 18 playoff this year, at least an 18.
Right.
And maybe even 12 or 16, but at least 8. And then you won't have this argument. You can have Ohio State in there. And a team like Texas A&M or Florida is going to get screwed out of a chance for a playoff, or even Cincinnati. I've been trying to.
But guys, you know who got off the hook is the committee for the playoff committee, because can you imagine? They were saying today, if Ohio State didn't play, if they said, okay, Ohio State's not going to play in this conference championship, they were saying that they would still make the playoff without playing. Like
my last point, and for the audience listening too, if we all remember. Carson knows because he's from Michigan. He goes to Michigan State. When football started, there was SEC ACC, Big 12. Who were the two conferences that didn't want to play? Now they're pushing to get Ohio State in there.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
All about the green George Washington.
Well, hey, Joe
Frank, they say.
Kenny, Joe Monty just said it. It was all for revenue reasons. Ohio State will bring the most money, and they will.
I agree 100%, Joe.
They will.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, Carson. All right. So I forgot what I was just gonna say now. I forgot, Kenny. It was something about I got a question for Carson. Do you think there's any at all, and this is sad we've been talking about this, but do you think there's any at all that Michigan could have played this game, but they just wanted no part of this? Either to try to screw them from going to the conference championship, or B, that they were just going to get smoked and humiliated on national television. You think at all Michigan at all?
It's it's funny because it's so ironic that the reason why we're even talking about this and why the committee bended the rule is because of the Michigan-Ohio State game being canceled, which is the biggest game for both teams every single year. And that's just it. Like you kind of said, did Michigan kind of partake in this? And they're like, say, well, let's do extra tests and maybe we might get ourselves out of this. We don't have to get embarrassed, and not to even mention, Jim Harbaugh's job is pretty on the line right now.
Yes.
And if he would have gotten blown out again by Ohio State, I don't know if he would have been secured next season. So it's definitely to think of that way, for like maybe a conspiracy is going on for that.
Right. Do you really think Jim Harbaugh was really like, I want to play? Like he's like, hell no, come on.
If it was something like for suspensions, but we're talking about a pandemic, you don't want to fake something like that.
Right.
If that comes back and everybody finds out that Michigan faked, a COVID, can you imagine that the target that'll put on Harbaugh's back?
Kenny, Eddie Murphy's just commented, said Harbaugh, Jets next head coach.
Yeah, why don't we get right into that next little topic? It's Eddie's. I know there's a few people listening on YouTube. They want to play along.
Okay.
We can play along with this fun little topic. Carson lost his head coach a couple weeks ago. He's ecstatic about it. He's been wanting to push it on for a while. Eddie Murphy just brought up the Jets. Why don't we go through some of the divisions and see if we all agree if the team needs a new head coach, and see if we can predict a new head coach for that team for next year.
Okay.
We'll start with the AFC East. I think we're all in agreement that's an easy one. Adam Gase is probably the only one that's definitely on the hot seat in the AFC East. Belichick ain't going anywhere. Flores ain't going anywhere. And my opinion, one of the most underrated coaches ain't going anywhere, and that's Sean McDermott. So Adam Gase, I'll start it off to show you guys what I'm doing. And audience too, who do you think will be the next Jets head coach? We know Eddie Murphy said Jim Harbaugh. Our friend John wants Matt Campbell from Iowa State. I'm going to go out on a limb. There's crazy things going on in New York. Adam Gase is coming back.
That's
Greg Williams.
That's bold.
He just fired Greg Williams. We know Greg Williams wanted to get fired for that call, but he fired Greg Williams. He's there. They're tanking. The tank is on, and they're going to give him a short leash next year. They'll fire him within like 5 games next year if he doesn't change the team around.
Okay.
Adam Gase next year. Anybody got a prediction for the Jets?
Okay, Carson, what do you got?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I wouldn't doubt it. Because we kept Patricia for way too long, so I definitely could definitely see a possibility that Gase is with another season. If they hold on to the first pick and they get Trevor Lawrence, if Trevor Lawrence does something with the team, maybe he might save Gase's job. Let me see here. I'm looking at let's see, Matt Campbell, maybe from Iowa State. See, here's the deal.
That's
Thielen likes him. Yep.
Yeah, here's the deal. I would rather have a college head coach than trying to move a position over from like a guy who's like the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator and trying to tackle and take the responsibility of a head coach. I'd rather see a guy who's already been a head coach get a shot compared to a guy that's already in the NFL, but he doesn't have any head coaching experience. I'd rather take that shot. But I would definitely like to see Matt Campbell get a shot.
Okay,
For sure.
couple other comments. Bryce is saying if they haven't fired them yet, they might keep them, meaning Gase. And Eddie Murphy's saying when Peyton Manning owns a team in the next 10 years, Gase is going to be his head coach. LOL. That's his. You know what? Gase is his guy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'll go to the NFC. We'll do Carson's division, the NFC Central. We know the Lions are going to be looking for a head coach.
Yep.
Packers are safe. LaFleur's not going anywhere.
Okay.
How about these two teams? Bears, is Nagy there next year? And the Vikings, is Zimmer there next year? We'll do the Lions, but do anybody think the Bears fire Nagy and the Vikings fire Zimmer?
I think the Bears there's a better chance Nagy. I just think I don't know, but you know what? It's so funny because Nagy was
for one more year, but he's going to have a leash next year.
Yeah, but Nagy was like the hottest name a couple years ago. Remember, look at Nagy; he's all creative in this offense, and now it's like
they don't have an off. Yeah, I mean,
but
Bears
flip-flopping quarterbacks every week. I don't know. I don't see Nagy. I think Nagy could be done. What do you think, Carson?
And that's just it. Like the Bears were, I mean, from like the first 5 weeks, they were red hot. I mean, they had a nice team going, and then I think they're on a 6-game losing streak right now, and all of a sudden they just fell apart, having tons of quarterback issues. And I don't know. I mean, it'll be. I mean, I think in these next couple of weeks, it'll definitely see what happens if he can maybe somehow fulfill that last wild card spot. Maybe we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, but. Definitely, he can. If he turns it around, I mean, he had a great start to his year, and then all of a sudden he fell apart. So
let's see what happens. One we all agree on the Lions. Obviously, I don't think they're going to go Darrell Bevell. Do you think they're going to go Darrell Bevell next year?
Kenny, Eddie.
So.
Oh, sorry.
Carson, who do you think your Lions?
Yeah, no, go for it. Yeah, well, the only real reason I can maybe see I don't see it happening is if he wins out somehow miraculously wins out the rest of the year. But. You know what? Somebody who hasn't been talked about, and I would love to see this man get a head coaching job in the NFL, is Urban Meyer. That's who I would love to see get a shot at the big time. I know he's talked about. He said he's done with coaching when he had that amazing run at Ohio State, but and Florida. But I would love to see him get a shot and see what he can do with an NFL team. Obviously Eric Bieniemy, that's the guy I would.
Yeah, and Carson, after. Eddie just said it. That's what his prediction was. Bieniemy for the Lions.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. The only reason why I don't think it's going to happen is because Eric Bieniemy has an amazing. He's in an amazing position right now. I don't see him leaving the Chiefs anytime soon. They're going to be in the conversation for at least the next 5 years. There's no reason to risk his job to go to the Lions when he's got something great going on in Kansas City.
You know what Bieniemy could do?
I'm gonna throw a name out there. Carson may or may not like this name. You asked me, I wouldn't have liked it, but our head coach ain't going anywhere. We found ourselves a head coach. Beginning of the year, they said Jason Garrett's going to be the next Giants head coach. I could see Jason Garrett getting a phone call or two. Was he that bad in Dallas?
I know. Yeah. Looking now.
And he is an offensive guy. I think they're going to go offense, and he's going to have – I will tell you this. He'll get your running game working. Look what he's doing with the Giants back in
the playoffs a few times.
Morris is looking like
a bad pick. It's definitely not a bad choice for Jason Garrett.
Kenny, Eddie's asking, do you see the Giants defensive coordinator going to be on people's list next year?
I did have him on the list, Ed. I got him possibly going. If Minnesota's looking for a head coach, I could see them going that route. Maybe the Bears. And that was my next. I think the Bears will look for another head coach. We'll go through these quick, and we'll do the ones.
Well, let me get one more thing to Carson, Kenny. Yeah. What's going on with the guy from the DC from the Niners? Aren't they doing something in Detroit where they did some kind of memo or something that they want Detroit to hire him? What is it, Saleh from the Niners or something? I heard. Did you hear anything about that, Carson?
No, I haven't heard much about it. I'm still browsing around looking at.
I want to say like they're saying that city or they started some kind of petition and they want
Okay.
like and they're getting all these signatures that they want the Lions to hire him as their
Hmm.
next head coach. But I don't know if they watched the game Monday night when they couldn't stop Buffalo, but
Right.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
All right, couple more comments, Kenny, from Bryce. Could Bill O'Brien or Dan Quinn get another job next year? Head
Yeah,
jobs.
Kurt's gonna love this one. I'm gonna see. I got Bill O'Brien going to the Broncos.
You know what's crazy about that?
I could see Bill O'Brien going back to college, all joking
No, you
around.
want to know what's crazy about
Maybe
that?
Michigan. Michigan could be a hot spot for him.
Couple things real quick. Will Cologne is saying yes, that is true about the petition because I guess Soleil is from Detroit, so that's why that's going around. And two, you laugh about Bill O'Brien with Denver. One, Elway likes him, and they're saying if they did move on from Fangio, it's going to be for an offensive coach. And Bill O'Brien
Yeah.
is an offensive coach. I would go nuts in a bad way if it happens, but don't laugh, Kenny.
No, I know.
It's not. It's possible.
I had a prediction for the Bears real quick, and then we'll get back into the teams that we know are going to look for head coaches. If the Bears look for a head coach, I got this guy as the perfect candidate for the next head coach for the Bears. And he may be a nightmare for you, Carson, unfortunately.
Mm.
Jack Del Rio,
Mm.
defensive-minded head coach, taking over that Bears team and defense.
All right, I got a better one for you, Kenny. Just say Denver does fire Fangio.
Oh, going to you want let's do the
No, no,
AFC
no, no, no.
West.
But think
No,
about
no,
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 but think about this. But think.
AFC
Let me
West.
ask you this: is this a possibility? If Denver fired Fangio, could Fangio go to become the head coach at Chicago?
I don't think he gets another head coach right away.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, he was their guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was
He gets a
there.
head coaching spot right away, though. I don't think he gets it. I don't think he's. I think he's. I don't know, Kurt. I don't like him as a head coach.
I don't like him as a head coach either, but I'm saying the Bears, if there's an opening, that's their guy. Remember, number one defense under Fangio. To get Fangio back, he's not going to go back to be the DC, but why? I mean, it's just throwing it out there. If they get rid of him, I don't know if Denver's going to get rid of him, but just a name to throw out there.
I got one. Let's continue with some teams, guys. San Diego, L.A. Chargers. That's where I had Eric Bieniemy go. Staying in the AFC West, what better way to stick it to the Chiefs? They got their young quarterback in Herbert. Let's get your offensive coordinator in Bieniemy, and we'll be rivals for years to come.
Okay.
That's my prediction for Bieniemy. You guys think Lynn is there, or you think he's gone next year?
Go ahead, Carson.
Yeah, it's hard to say because you had the whole Philip Rivers situation when he left the Chargers. So I think I would. That's not a bad prediction. I definitely could see it happen. You know, same division. You know, they could rival it out each year if he went there. But yeah, I think we'd have to give him a little bit more some time to maybe get used to Herbert and definitely give him another shot. I think.
What about, hey, Kenny, what about this is where I think it's another offensive guy. Could Joe Brady go here and Joe Brady pick, okay, I'm going to work with Herbert?
Absolutely.
You know, I think
that's not out of the question.
I think these quarterbacks like Herbert, I think these young guys like Herbert and who's the other guy? I'm trying to think. Like, you know,
You're gonna have Herbert, Lawrence.
right. I think it's just smart to
Fields.
go with an offensive
I
guy.
don't like him. Fields is going to be a new quarterback that
Yep.
a coach is probably going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how about agree or disagree, Kenny? Agree or disagree? You know what? Let's ask Carson first. Eddie Murphy saying, I think the Jets is going to be every coach's first choice, whoever wants to become a head coach. Agree or disagree, Carson? Because of Trevor Lawrence, I'm assuming.
You got nothing to lose. I mean, if you go there, you can only hope to get better. It's not like you can't, do a worse job than what's happening right now. So that's actually not a bad
statement.
Right, exactly. Because I'd rather go to a crappy team and give a shot to make it better than go to like a contender and make it worse. Then it's really on you. Then it's really obvious.
Kenny,
so
I didn't mean to cut you off, Carson. I was going to say,
you're good.
Kind of disagree. I think all these head coaches are looking ahead to 2021, saying, "I know I'm going to get a call from this team. I sure as hell hope the Jets can win a game, at least a game, and lose the coin flip to Jacksonville." I think that's a dream spot. They got a young defense. That they got some names on defense. They got a young offense. DJ Chark, this kid Robinson out of nowhere.
That's a great point. Great point.
Yeah.
And I think that's a hotter spot. But hey, if you got a franchise quarterback, we joke around about it all the time, Kurt.
You go.
Trevor Lawrence is your guy. All joking aside, he's the top prospect in years to come out since Andrew Luck. He's the highest rated quarterback in college to get ready to come into the pros. So of course I'd be ecstatic if I was a head coach. You know what? If he doesn't pan out, then you know what? I tried. It wasn't me.
Couple more comments. Queen of Claws is saying, "I'm here now. I'm just listening right now." So
hey, what's up, Queen?
Will Cologne is saying the Chargers is going to be the hot spot.
That's another. I agree, Will, and I'm going to go get to one team now. Piggyback off what you just said.
And Kenny, one more question, because the comments are coming in. I don't want to lose it. Bryce is asking, could Kellen Moore from Dallas get a head coaching job?
Not yet. Not yet. I mean, he lost Dak. I don't think yet, but future, yes.
Okay.
Future, yes.
All right.
My opinion. I was just going to piggyback off of Will. My next team is the Bengals. Do they keep Zach Taylor, or do they go out and get a head coach?
Again,
we had this discussion yesterday. Carson, and we just got into it for a couple minutes. And most of the panel, not Kurt, I don't think Kurt, most of the panel said he lost Burrow. He didn't lose Burrow all year.
How long has he been there,
Coach? He won 2 games last
2 years, I think, Carson. I think this is his second year.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of a similar situation to forgot his name, the guy in Los Angeles, because they're starting to build their young quarterbacks right now. So I don't know. It's like, when do you pull the trigger? Do you let them develop and you hope you turn the team around, or when's the cutoff line to say enough's enough?
Can I give you my prediction and then see if you like it, and then you could piggyback off it?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Brady, Burrow's offensive coach in LSU, is now the offensive coordinator in Carolina.
Yeah, I like that.
Name Brady to the Bengals. Perfect.
I like that. That's a good mix. Good mix.
And then the point I was making with Will, hotspots. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. Good chance all those quarterbacks, future franchise quarterbacks.
Now, Kenny, Will is saying
head coach's dream. Start a team with a franchise quarterback. Usually you're starting a team and it's garbage.
Absolutely.
Right.
Hey, Will
have 3 hotspots with 3 of the hottest quarterbacks in football.
Yeah, Will is saying keep them. They were in a lot of games. So Will is saying that he would keep
They do have no defense. I mean, I do give him that. Like he's playing with no defense. He's playing without Joe Mixon. Get rid of AJ Green next year and go with the young guys.
Yeah, but you're right though. Like, you guys are totally right when you say like the hot spot, and that's why we're saying Jacksonville. Like, even though like I understand what you're saying, Kenny. Like, if I had my choice and I could be a head coach, and it says okay, I could have Lawrence in Jacksonville or Lawrence with the Jets, I would take Lawrence with Jacksonville first. But if Lawrence goes to the Jets, I'm sorry, like I'd rather take Lawrence in New York than Fields or anyone else you want to give me with Jacksonville. Like, what would you rather do, Carson?
That's a tough question, because it's like, how much – I mean, like, a quarterback's probably one of the biggest pieces of the team. But like Kenny said, I mean, they've got some really nice young talent in Jacksonville they're starting to build up. So if Lawrence goes to Jacksonville, I'm definitely – they could become like, the new 49ers or something, you know? I could definitely see it happen. But, yeah. That's that, because you got to have not only a good quarterback, you got to have a core around you too that can put the pieces together. So I would definitely go with Jacksonville if he gets drafted there versus New York.
By the way, Kenny, we're getting a little breaking news here. Queen of Claws is saying they are ready. I'm getting ready to hear their picks. So excited to hear the picks for the week.
Oh, it's
Just
coming.
throwing it out
Hang
there.
on.
Just
Yeah,
throwing it out there.
Our picks are going to be coming up next. Any other? So yeah, I mean, I got Joe Brady possibly going there. I could. It all depends. I think. Did Burrow click with Zach Taylor enough? Is Joe Brady that much of a hot name?
Right.
Well, you can have your franchise quarterback with your
Yeah.
offensive coordinator in LSU sitting right there. And, I mean, I'd be looking at the chops if I was Joe Brady. Hey, give me that call, guys. I'll come.
All right.
Yeah.
So another question we're getting from the audience. If the Jets take Lawrence, what teams call and ask for Sam Darnold? Let me ask you this, Carson. Do you trade Stafford, save money, get like a first-round pick for him, and would you take Sam Darnold? Would you do something like that?
Oh boy.
Or would you say, screw it, I'm not going to mess with this. I just got to keep Stafford.
I think I have to see a year first. I mean, Patricia and Bevel needed to go. I'm thankfully they're gone now. I mean, look at what Caldwell did with us when he was with us. You know, he took us to the playoffs twice and nothing changed. And you know, Patricia claimed that there was a lot of work to do and all this stuff was happening. But I mean, he's my quarterback, man. Like I mean, if he gets a legitimate team to go after him and call for him, definitely. I mean, by all means, he definitely deserves to be on a contending team.
I got a team. I got two teams. If the 49ers go and take Kirk Cousins, I think he'd be perfect in Minnesota with some weapons, Thielen and Jefferson. And if the 49ers don't go out and get him, I think he'd be perfect in San Francisco with Shanahan. So San Fran and Minnesota would be my top two choices in no order. Those would be my two picks. Where Sam Darnold, I think, would do better.
Yeah.
Will is throwing one out there, and you know what?
Darnold will have Kittle. Darnold will have Kittle in a running game in San Fran.
Deebo Samuel, he'll have tons of weapons.
Deebo?
Yeah. Will Cologne is throwing one out there, and I can definitely see this because this is something like that this team just does. Smart franchise. Pittsburgh gets Darnold for a 5th-round pick. I could see the Steelers stealing a franchise quarterback.
Now, Will said that. What about Indianapolis? Rivers, the end of his career.
Yeah.
Darnold is going to be a quarterback somewhere, guys.
Darnold, of course. Yeah. Terrific.
Don't give up on Darnold just yet.
Terrific Ted saying, just wanted to say hello and drop a thumbs up. You are all terrific. Thank you, Ted.
What's up, Ted? How you doing, man?
Thank you for watching. Eddie Murphy saying, I think Darnold might go to Dallas. You know, who wants to pay Dak all the money he wants? Again, that's, there's the whole, do I save a lot of money, get Darnold, a lot cheaper? And Terrific Ted is also saying, hope my Saints do not blow this playoff chance. Terrific Ted, celebrate, my friend, because they're going to be your Super Bowl champs. They're gonna win it, and Drew Brees is gonna go out like Elway and Peyton, right on top. Done.
Let's throw a question out to Ted. Drew Brees' injury might be a little more serious than people are thinking. It is a punctured lung, so it is serious injury. He may be out longer than think. How far does he think Taysom Hill can take the Saints? Does he think they can? I think they can go pretty far with Taysom Hill, personally. I think they got enough weapons where they don't need him to do everything.
And they play defense too. They got a great defense.
He can make some throws. I think they'll be all right, the Saints, without Drew Brees. If Drew Brees comes back, just put him in the Super Bowl.
I'm telling you. Listen, they've been the best two teams. I think they've been the best team the past 2 years. It's just they blew the Rams game and they choked with the Viking game. But they've been the best two. They've been the best team the past 2 years. He's saying it's bad, but Taysom Hill is proving to be a leader. And you know what? I think Sean Payton is gonna he's not gonna ask Hill to drop back and throw 42 times a game. He's a smart offensive guy. He's going to put Hill in a great position. Here's a question for you, Carson. You want to grab this one? Will Gardner Minshew go somewhere new next year, or will he? This is from Bryce. Or,
Hey, what's up, Bryce?
Or you think he stays at Jacksonville? Does he get another shot somewhere?
I think he stays in Jacksonville. Like, I just can't see him. He would you'd make a solid backup for sure. But I mean, It's either Jacksonville and he keeps starting there, or he goes someplace and he's probably going to be a backup. So if he wants playing time, I definitely think Jacksonville. Like, I mean, he's not a great quarterback, but he's not a terrible quarterback either. He's kind of right in the middle of average. So I would think you should stay with Jacksonville.
He might benefit from being if he leaves Jacksonville, his only other option would be to go to a contender as a backup. Go to like who would be a contender? Go to Pittsburgh, back up Roethlisberger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back up Josh Allen in Buffalo. Maybe the Patriots, make a move for him. The Patriots are going to be looking for a quarterback next year. They ain't going to get Darnold.
Right.
Jets ain't going to give him Darnold,
Yep.
So
Ted's pumped up. He says he can see the Saints going far, so he's excited.
I see him going far too, Ted.
Me too.
Yeah, they're a great team.
What else, Mr. Kirkpatrick? Anybody else on that list?
Dallas, we think McCarthy's one and done, or we think let me throw a coach out there that nobody. Let's do it. Let's change it up real quick for a few minutes, and then we'll get into picks. Lincoln Riley. Does he go anywhere in the NFL next year? Or does he stay in Oklahoma? I could see that being, if McCarthy is one and done, that being Lincoln Riley's spot.
I don't know, man. I think that's a lot. Like, I think he needs his quarterback for his system, just like what's his name runs his system, Kingsbury.
Well, there's your Justin Fields type of quarterback,
Okay. They can't run that with that.
That's what I'm saying. If he's one and done.
Right.
If he's one and done, I could see him going there. Where's Jim Harbaugh going to go, guys? We know. Does he stay in Michigan? Does he stay out of the NFL next year?
Carson has to answer that question. I mean, that's his
area. I would love for him to stay at Michigan. Oh, I would love to stay in Michigan. Oh, that'd be so sweet.
Yeah, rumor has it he is staying in Michigan, going to the Lions.
No. I do not want him on the Lions. That is like a bittersweet relationship if he came to the Lions. But yeah, I hope he stays in Michigan because, I mean, as long as we can have a shot with him every year, I'm totally fine with that.
One more interesting team, not name. Is Bruce Arians on the Buccaneers next year?
No. I'm telling you, those guys have problems together. They cannot. Yeah. They're not a good fit. They don't. I think Brady. I honestly think Brady's going to go to the management and say, "Listen, either he goes or I got to go because I cannot coexist." It's stupid. He's not putting Brady in the spots to succeed. He's throwing the ball deep. I mean, look at the percentages of like him throwing the deep ball. He doesn't throw the underneath stuff. I just think it's a terrible match, and I think Brady's going to win out, and I think Arians is going to go. Can Josh
Let me ask you a question since you're wearing the visor and you kind of look like
Josh McDaniels?
Is Tampa Bay called Josh McDaniels for the job?
Well, let me ask you this. Josh McDaniels, we talked about the other night on the show, right? Or we were talking, saying how, look at his resume. I mean, his head coach resume. Disaster in Denver. He was going to take the Colt job. Then he said he's backing out. So he doesn't have the good reputation around the league. How can you not? You got your quarterback in Brady. You got Gronk. You can make Scotty Miller one of your little receivers or get Amendola. How is it not? Where is he going to get a better spot? Like, he's not going to go to
succeed in year one.
Yeah, year one. He could, he could now go to a Super Bowl. He's not doing that with the Bengals, but he could do that with the Bucks. How could he not? That's like it's either if he doesn't take that job, then it's like he's promised the New England job.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point, Kurt. I didn't think of that. I didn't even have him down until I just saw Tampa. I was like,
no, you saw the visor.
Visor did it.
A couple other cautions. Eddie Murphy saying Giants are going to show Kingsbury his system isn't that good. LOL. And
Oh
then
yeah.
and then Eddie saying what we said all along. The Bucks started to be bad when they signed Antonio Brown.
Mm.
That was like
Oh, here's another one, Kenny. But
the rich getting
wait,
richer. It didn't happen.
Carson's gonna have to cover his ears on this one because Will just came up. Will Cologne came up with a great one, and you ready for this? Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Josh McDaniels and their defensive coordinator who?
Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia.
You know what? Might be a good defensive coordinator.
Don't
Another
laugh.
one of those guys that's a coordinator.
Think
not
about
a,
it. What? Why not? That's his guy. He worked with him. You
Yeah.
know, you run your
see it.
defense. They got talent on the
like it.
defensive side.
I like
That's a
it.
great combo.
Okay. And then last prediction, guys, and then we'll do picks. Does Bruce Arians get another head coaching job next year? With all these positions open, I don't think he goes to one of those rookie quarterbacks, one of those young quarterback teams. But a team like the Bears, a team like the Texans are going to be looking for a head coach. We didn't mention them.
Yeah.
How about Denver with the young talent? They want an offensive coach. Would it be Bruce Arians?
Would you take him?
Yeah, because I think
I don't think Arians is the problem. I think it's all the egos around him.
I think it's just a bad fit. By the way, Bryce is saying that would be nice. He was also thinking about that. I guess he meaning the combo in Tampa. I'm telling you, that's just too good to be true. I mean, come on. That's all these guys.
They're both out there. As soon as the second the Buccaneers are out of the playoffs this year, the phone call should be made.
And then Carson's gonna get livid because Matt Patricia is gonna look like Bill Belichick with a top 5 defense again.
Go off with his new team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, here's a good one. You know what, Carson? I'm gonna get this for you from Eddie Murphy. Do you guys ever see Brian Kelly as a future head coach in the NFL?
Maybe. God, that's a tough question. I can see it happen. I don't think he'll leave Notre Dame, though. I think he has too much of an attachment there. He's done a great job with that program. He has done a great
job.
He's kind of like a similar situation to Urban what's his I can't think of his name, but he could have easily gone pro, but he stayed with his school.
Lincoln Riley?
Yeah. Maybe Lincoln. I just think he has too big of an attachment to Notre Dame, and I think he's going to stay there.
All right.
If he wanted to, he could, but I don't think he will.
All right. So what? All right, but let me throw a scenario out. This year they're going to get to the college football playoff, right? Mm-hmm. But this has been the closest he's been to Alabama and Clemson. You know, where potentially, he's beat Clemson once. He's not going to do it again next week, but let's just, they get to the college playoff and they just get waxed again. I mean, Alabama beats them 42-7. Does he really look and say, I can't get further than what I am?
Mm-hmm.
Does he look and say, now maybe I do want to go to a head job because I took Notre Dame as far as I could take them? Does that at all factor into any decision, or do you guys think it's not going to matter?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on what they do this year. If they somehow go to the national championship and they win,
right? Or if they win,
I think he wants to bring a championship to Notre Dame. But if it's just time and time again where he can't get it, he might say, "All right, I've done all I can. I might have to move on to something else."
Right? I'm not saying losing a close game, but I mean if he plays those teams in a playoff game, even Ohio State, and it's just like they get beat by 3-4 touchdowns, and this is his best team by far. And he's got a lot of seniors, so it's not like they're going to be back next year right away. Does he look and say, maybe my stock's never going to be higher, so maybe I can bounce and, get a job. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. So.
All right. Any other teams, guys? I think we hit them all.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Want to do some picks, Kurt?
Absolutely.
Get into the second hour or 45 minutes, whatever we're
Absolutely.
saying. And then if we got time, we'll do a little free agent baseball at the end of the
Okay.
show. How do you want to start this, Kurt? College, NFL?
Yeah,
You're a
we're gonna do.
graphic.
We'll do. And Will's saying college gigs are too sweet to give up
Queen's
for these
still
guys.
listening. We
Big
can do
money
a
in these
pick.
schools are less headaches than the NFL.
Yeah, I agree
So,
with that.
Oh, yeah.
so I'll give you the games because I have them in my order.
Okay.
All right.
What
So
are we doing? College or NFL?
we're gonna go NFL.
Sounds good.
We're gonna start off with a playoff matchup. The Colts giving 3 points to the Raiders in Vegas. What do you guys got?
Colts at Vegas. Go ahead,
Colts.
Carson. You could start this one.
Colts at Raiders.
Man. Got by the Texans last week. Let's see the Raiders. Raiders barely got by the Jets. This is going to be an interesting game. I feel like I think the Colts are going to get this one. I feel like Derek Carr. He's starting to kind of. He had a great game last week, but I think the Colts are too much for the Texans. I like what they're doing. I think the Colts have a great defense. I think they're going to be too much for Derek Carr.
Kenny.
Playing this where you play Russian roulette. Colts, Raiders, Colts, Raiders. I would not want to be betting this game.
Yeah.
Colts got blown out to the Titans a couple weeks ago. They bounced back last week with a win. Raiders barely beat the Jets on that gift. The Jets should have won that game. Now the Raiders are home. I'll take the points with the Raiders. Very reluctantly, hoping that they carry the momentum now and they got the wake up call.
I got to go against you, Kenny. I'm going to go with Carson this week. I'm going to take the Colts again, but very reluctantly. I'm not confident in either one of these two teams. You can get the Raiders again. The Raiders could look like AFC contenders, or the Raiders can get just beat up. But I have a little more confidence in the Colts defense, so I'm going to take the Colts.
Okay.
That would be game number 1. Number 2, we're going to go. We talked about the Jets. Let's get the Jets right out of the way. They're going into Seattle. So Seattle plays the Jets and Giants back to back. I'll start this one. Listen, Seattle's pissed. Seattle's going to be angry after last week. And I just think the Jets want to just keep tanking. I think it'll be close for a quarter, but then I think Seattle just blows them out and they cover the 13.5 points. So I'm going to take Seattle. Carson.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100%. Jets gave the Raiders hell, though, last week. They definitely Sam Darnold looked like he's on the come up again. We were talking about him earlier, but I feel like the Seahawks, like you said, they're angry after losing to the Giants last week. Russell Wilson's going to have a big game going Seahawks.
Okay. By the way, we got an it looks like Amari Smith.
Oh, Amari, what's up, dude?
Amari Smith saying he's got the hashtag Raiders at home.
Nice.
So he's going Raiders. Kenny, where are you going on this? You're going to give the 13.5 points?
Yeah, I got to give it to them. I don't like taking those high NFL spreads, but Seahawks got embarrassed by the Giants last week. They're going to embarrass the Jets this week. So Russell Wilson is going to throw for 4 touchdowns. The score is going to be about 31. The Jets will score some points. It's going to be about a 31-14 game.
Okay. We also have, I believe, Amari saying Seahawks in a hashtag blowout. Jacob's checking in with us. Hello, Jacob.
Jacob, thanks for joining.
And Jacob saying, by the way, I'm a Giants fan. So, Kenny, you got a partner on the show, Kenny.
Absolutely, Jacob.
All right, let's get to Ted's team.
5 in a row this week, Jacob. 5 in a row this week. Let's take care of business 1 week at a time.
Terrific Ted's New Orleans Saints going down to Philly and playing not Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts. The switch is made. It is 6.5. Carson, is Terrific Ted going to be happy on Sunday afternoon?
I think he is. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. I feel like Carson Wentz. I don't know where he's going to go after this season. There's a whole bunch of questions with him. But I think they're going to move on. Like you said, they're going to stick with their guy Jalen Hurts. But I feel like the Saints. There's too much talent on this team, even without Drew Brees. Taysom Hill's still going to get it done. I'm going to go with the Saints big. Ted's going to be happy.
Amari's saying, "LOL, I might stack the Seahawks for my DraftKings." So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree with Carson. I think again the Saints are. I think the Saints know they want to get home. They want to be the home. They want to get home field. Even though I know home field's not home field, but they still want to be in that dome come playoff time. I
Mm-hmm.
think Philly. I think the Saints defense is very underrated. But they're phenomenal at stopping the run. Hurts is going to do his little gimmicky, and I think the Saints win, cover, and I think. Again, Philly will hang around the quarterback change, but I think New Orleans wins, and they're going to get that number 1 seed, Kenny. Where you got?
I agree with both of you guys. I've watched the Eagles week in and week out, watched the Giants hand them and evict. When did the Giants? We always struggle, and Jacob's listen, we always struggle against the Eagles. We handed them a no-brain we were leading the game from beginning to end. Last week they've been on prime time. They look terrible. They think Hurts is going to be the answer because Kurt said gimmicky, runs around, but that Saints defense is going to be too tough.
Yep.
I'll take the Saints by 10 points.
Okay.
31-21 type game, 31-20.
Carson, we'll start with you on this one. The Atlanta Falcons giving 2 points to the Chargers.
Man, Todd Gurley keeps burning me every week. I lost by 2 points because Justin Herbert got me 3 points and Gurley got me 2 points. And if they just got their normal averages, they would have been fine. But yeah, wow, this is a tricky game to go with. It's like the two guys that I was fond upon, Justin Herbert, and then my guy Todd Gurley had an off game last week. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers on this one. They're home. I think Herbert's gonna have a bounce back game. Just an absolute catastrophe against New England last week. But I feel like he's going to have a better game. I'm going to go with the Chargers by maybe 6.
Okay. Amari saying he's got the Saints in the Saints-Eagles game. Jacob saying Cardinals-Giants. That's going to be a good game. We'll get to that pick in a second.
It's going to be a good one, Jacob.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
I'll go next. I'll go next on this one.
Go ahead.
I remember on the air last week saying I took the Patriots over the Chargers. I said Belichick ain't losing against a rookie quarterback. Well, Belichick ain't losing to Anthony Lynn. Well, you know what? Raheem Morris ain't Bill Belichick. And Justin Herbert bounces back. Keenan Allen has a big game. Hunter Henry has a sneaky big game. Taking the Chargers at home by a touchdown.
Okay. Amari's also
very high scoring game after getting shut out last week.
Okay.
34-27 type game.
Amari's saying, I think I'm going to take the Chargers. And you know what? Because he took them, Carson took them, and Kenny, you took them, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. I don't like this game at all, but I would have taken the Falcons, but I'm with you guys now. You sold me. Herbert, I think they finally, they're due to win a game like that's a close game, and I think this is going to be it. So I'm going to jump on the bandwagon with you guys. I'm going to go Chargers also.
Sweet.
Next game on the docket, Carson's Lions at home getting 7.5 points, and people are saying already, why is it 7.5 points only? You know what, Kenny, start us off. Why is it 7.5 with the Chargers, with the Packers at the Lions?
I know Carson's going to be able to say this a little more, but I think the Lions play tough at home against Green Bay. I may be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Detroit with the points because this is one of them games that Vegas wants you to take Green Bay.
Yes.
Right.
And
this is a trap game.
Point. How many times we've all made sports wagers? How many times you look at the game and like,
too easy.
They lost by 7. Well, it was 7.5. You get burned by that half a point a lot of times.
Yep.
I don't know if the Lions can pull off the big upset. Last week they won, and it's just week 2 now with the new coach. But I'm going to say they cover that game. I'm going to say they play a very close, competitive game, and this could be like their Super Bowl.
Okay.
And when teams play their Super Bowl, they have one game circled that they play extremely hard, and this is the game for the Lions, in my opinion.
All right. Carson, is Galladay playing?
I don't think he is. I
Okay.
could be. He's questionable. Swift might return, but I think Galladay is going to be out again.
All right. If Galladay's out, I like Green Bay. But Kenny, I'm with you. I think if Galladay's there, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to make the pick anyway. I'm going to go with you, Kenny. I think Green Bay wins, but I think, again, Detroit, you're right. Detroit always plays them good at home. It's like, you're right. It's their Super Bowl, Stafford at home. Amari saying it will be close, but I got the Packers. I agree. I'm going to take the Packers, but I will take the points. I think it'll be less than 7 points. Carson, the floor is yours with your team.
I mean, this is the whole season right here. This is a big game for us. I mean, the only chance, a prayer from God maybe, is that we get the final wild card spot. We're going to have a couple teams south with south, though, in order to do that. But, yeah, you guys pretty much took the words out of my mouth. This is our Super Bowl. This is basically our season right here. If you have any chance to make the final wild card, like I said, we do play Green Bay pretty tough, especially at home. We came out. I think we had like a strong start. When we played them earlier in the year, I think we blew like a 14-point lead early on or something like that. It's going to be a close game. I'm hoping we get it done. The problem is, though, we are a totally different offense with Galladay and Swift.
And Bryce and Carson. Bryce is just messaging us saying Galladay did not practice today.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too, Bryce. Yeah, Galladay is just such a big piece of our team, and if he's not on, our offense just doesn't look the same. Stafford will probably have his heroicness, and maybe he'll keep a close game, but I'm going to go with the Packers. As brutally, it pains me to say that, but I think Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers too. I mean, every single time, I love Aaron Rodgers, but I hate him when he plays us because he definitely plays well when he plays Detroit. So I think he's gonna have a big game. Devontae Adams, I'm hoping he goes off for my fantasy, but other than that, I'm going with the Packers.
Okay, but you'll take. Is it a set? Will you take the points?
Yeah,
though?
I'm going to go with the Lions with the points.
Right.
But I'm going Packers.
Okay.
As the win.
Not to go off topic, Carson. Are you in your playoffs this week? So you start.
Yes. Yep, I'm in my playoffs this week for fantasy.
I'm the 5 seed, but
okay. I'm the 1 seed. So
there
nice.
You go.
You got to buy. Kurt's a buy. Kurt's got to buy. But in the K Sports Show League, to ask him what his record is.
I think I was 2 and what were we? 2 and 10.
For Trevor.
I'm tanking for Trevor.
Too bad it wasn't a keeper league. You would get the first pick next year.
I'm going Trevor. No, I wouldn't take Trevor. But all right, Chicago.
If anybody's got any fantasy football questions too, guys.
Oh yeah, shoot them out. Absolutely. Any questions? Shoot them out. Chicago Bears getting 1.5 at home against the Texans. I'm going to start this. I don't think the Texans should be favored over anybody. I really don't. I know they beat Detroit, and I know they played the Colts well last year. But I think that last week. But I think that game, that losing the way they lost last week, fumbling going in, I think that that took a lot of like air out of them. So I'm gonna take the Bears on a slight upset. Am I crazy?
No, I'm gonna ask Carson one question. How's the weather up by you guys? Is it cold? Is it?
Yeah, well, Ford Field's indoors. But yeah, it's cold here.
No, but with the Chicago game coming up.
Oh,
I know you're a little further. They're a little further south.
Yeah, it's 30s. Yeah, 20s to 30s here. Yeah.
Give me the Bears. I know they lost 6 in a row. The Texans, they ain't going to be able to play in the cold weather.
Amari saying, I got the Texans. I am not sold on none of the Bears quarterbacks at all. LOL. Carson.
Yeah, very reluctantly taking the Bears.
Yeah, this is a game I don't like either.
Yeah, I don't like this game either. Yeah. Bears 6-game losing streak. I mean, it's a big game for them. They gotta make a statement. I would hate to be a Bears fan right now because you had a great thing going and then you're on just a downward spiral right now. So this is a big game for the Bears. Maybe Trubisky gets it done. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Texans though. I feel like I'd rather have Deshaun Watson than Mitchell Trubisky. So I'm going Texans.
Jacob is saying something Kenny's gonna get happy about. I think the Giants have a shot this year to make it to the Super Bowl.
Whew. Who would have thought that, right?
That's music. You know what? It's like crazy talk a couple weeks ago, but you know what?
Yeah,
Giants are one of the hottest teams in the league.
Right.
You know? It's crazy how a couple wins and in that division, could get you. Let's go to Monday night. This is a big one. Is it Monday night?
Monday's Ravens Browns.
Yes, Ravens Browns. Cleveland is getting at home. Cleveland's a 2.5-point underdog. Kenny, start this off.
You know why they're underdogs? Because of week 1. This ain't the same Browns team as week 1. And this is not the same Ravens team as week 1. The Browns are going to pull off the home victory as an underdog. And they will go into New York with a winning streak, and we'll take care of them next week. But this week they take care of the Ravens. I'm taking the Browns at home. I know their defense hasn't been great, but Myles Garrett will get to Lamar Jackson. He'll have 2 sacks. Browns 20, Ravens 17.
Listen, before Carson goes, I'm with you. Low scoring game. They're gonna the both teams want to run the ball, and I just think this Chubb, Baker makes a couple field down, but Nick Chubb, man, he's a stud. Kareem Hunt, I'm going with you. Browns beat him outright. Carson. Tough game.
Yeah, this is a really tough game. Lamar Jackson has been struggling here and there, but he had a nice week last week. Baker had a good week last week. I don't see him having that kind of performance again against the Ravens. I think it's gonna be a close game. But I feel like this is the game where Lamar Jackson kind of gets put on the map again. I could see him easily have like a 4-touchdown game here. I'm gonna go with the Ravens in this one.
Okay. Wow, it's never you go against me and Kenny, and me and Kenny are never together.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Tennessee Titans. That line right now is 7.5, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Where are you going?
Jacksonville's home, right?
Jacksonville's home, getting 7.5 points. Amari's with you, Carson. He said, "I got the Ravens."
I'll do mine short and sweet. You ever see the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray?
Yeah.
Everything repeats. Well, this is another 7.5-point underdog like the Lions at home. I'm going to take the Jaguars at home with that 7.5. Why is it only 7.5? So
Amari's saying hashtag tighten up.
Give me Jacksonville.
Carson?
Oh, man. Jacksonville's just they're a weird team. Like, I mean, yeah, they're 1-11, but they just somehow find a way to keep the games competitive. I mean, the Titans are coming off a loss to Cleveland last week, but yeah, they're going to have a revenge game. They're going to go off against the Jaguars. I could see it have a first close half, but I feel like the Titans are just going to pull away in the second half. I'm going Titans.
I'm sorry. There's just no way I could take Mike Glennon and have to say, come on, Mike Glennon, score a touchdown late. No friggin' way, man. No way. I think that I'm with you, Carson. Titans.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't do it. And Amari's saying the Titans are his favorite team. You know what?
Nice.
I'll tell you this, Amari.
One of our buddies is a good Titans fan too.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. That team, that team is built for the playoffs, man. Run the ball. You know, They got the ultimate beast. Bounce back game.
That's a team I would not want to face.
Oh no, I would want no part of that.
Cold December day.
Nope. No part.
That's why I asked if the game was home.
And think about this. When your quarterback wins playoff games, he beat Brady and he beat Lamar on the road last year. So the guy has big wins in a postseason. Why can't he do it again?
Right.
You know? Why not? All right, let's get to this Super Bowl. The Cowboys and the Bengals. Oh, my God. The Cowboys are actually 3.5-point favorites. This is Andy Dalton revenge game. Against Brandon Allen.
Short and sweet for me. This might be the only time I ever take the Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Just Andy Dalton's going to have a statement against his former team. I mean, he's going to go off. I'm going to go Cowboys big.
Too much offensive power for the Cowboys. Andy Dalton has one of those 350-yard games, 3 touchdowns, and Brandon Allen has 110 yards.
Yeah. 26 for 27 with 82 yards. Oh my God.
Hey, that's increase from 36 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here's a sneaky little game. I don't know if it's sneaky. Amari saying Cowboys will win, but they are an accident waiting to happen. Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. How about is this a sneaky game? Because I'm going to say no. The Chiefs are giving 7 points to the Dolphins. I think this is where the Dolphins are back. You got Tua, you're getting 7 points. It's going to go Mahomes, and they're not going to recover. I'm going to say by 17 points to Chiefs. Carson.
You know what? This is my upset of the week. I'm
Woo!
going Miami in this one. I think Chiefs are going to have a rough game. I don't know why. Something tells me the Dolphins are just going to – Tua's going to have his best game of his career on Sunday. I feel like he's going to definitely make a statement against the best team in the league. I feel like the Dolphins are going to upset the Chiefs.
Carson, I've known Kenny for 30 years. I'm going to tell you right now what's coming out of his mouth. He's going to say, Carson, you're exactly right. Not only are the Dolphins going to cover, they're going to win. Go ahead, Kenny.
You see, I was miming there. That was my puppet. I was talking. He was doing the
That's it. I know
He's
Kenny.
absolutely right.
I know
He's
Kenny.
absolutely right. Andy Reid's going to have his Hawaiian shirt on all week. They're on vacation down in Miami, South Beach. Not on Sunday. Sunday upset special.
Nice.
Amari's saying Dolphins too. And Kenny, listen
Really?
to this. Listen to this stat that Jacob's thrown out.
And Tua makes that case for Rookie of the Year.
And this is actually pretty cool that Jacob's saying this, because I've been watching a lot on Fox and they've been doing this with the percentages and stuff. Like, he's saying if the Giants beat the Cardinals, their playoff chances goes from 56 to 73. Just one game. You know, like it's a fourth better odds, you know, like it's
You know what's amazing, guys? Like, I know Jacob's listening. We were 1-7 4 weeks ago.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like, oh, what pick are we going to get in the draft? There was no excitement. And all of a sudden, like, there was, I've been saying it all year. We've been in every game. And now we're learning how to win those games.
Mm-hmm.
So, very exciting time to be a Giants fan.
Absolutely. All right,
Yeah.
Cincinnati. Minnesota at Tampa Bay. Carson, you start us off 6.5. It's 6.5 points. Tampa Bay's the favorites.
Buccaneers are at home.
Buccaneers are home, coming off of losses, correct?
Yep. Yeah, they held their ground with the Chiefs. Lost by a field goal. Vikings they're starting to improve. They had a close call against Jacksonville in overtime last week. I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers here. I feel like Brady, as much as he doesn't, we talked about this earlier with Bruce Arians and him not getting the best chemistry together, but I feel like Brady's gonna have a big game. I need him to have a big game because it's the first playoff game for me from fantasy. So I'm gonna go with Buccaneers. They're coming off a bye week, so I'm gonna go with Brady.
Yeah, Carson, I'm with you. I'm with you, especially coming off that bye week. The Vikings are like playing with fire, like they're winning, but it's like, getting lucky here. Hey, a win's a win, but they're just, I don't know. I think Tampa Bay is they're getting desperate, like they're not even a lock to make the playoffs, so they better get their act together. I'm going to go with them too. What do you got?
This is a sweep the board, guys. I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well. Godwin's coming back. He had a procedure. He had some pins removed from his hand. This could be a Godwin game. Minnesota's secondary's a mess. Their corners are a mess. I could see them trying to stop Mike Evans and this being a Godwin, Chris Godwin, big game for him this week.
Okay. We go to tonight's game, and tonight's a sneaky good little game. We got the Rams hosting the Patriots. The Rams are 4.5 point favorite. I'm going to be honest. This game, I couldn't bet this game because this is crazy. This is just, I don't know. I am not a fan of the Rams. I'm sorry, but I also think New England on the road. But you know what? I'm sorry. I say it all the time. Belichick against Jared Goff. He totally shut him down in the Super Bowl. I got to take the points. I think the Rams win, but I don't know. I'm not confident. I just think Belichick's going to shut him down. So I'm going to go. I'll take the points with New England. Kenny.
I'm sure we're going to be different on our college picks, but we've been right. We've been picking the same on NFL quite often this tonight.
Yeah.
Patriots stayed in LA all week.
Yes.
They didn't leave California. And like you hit the points, Kurt. They Belichick against Goff, Belichick against McVay.
Yep.
Be a repeat of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Low scoring,
Yeah.
20 to like 10 type of ball game. Pats at 4.5 is a gift. Take that money line all day if you're a bettor. Don't even take the points. Take them for the outright upset.
Okay.
That's the upset of the week.
Carson?
Man.
Amari's going Patriots over the Rams.
Patriots had a statement game last week. They just blew out the Chargers. Rams helped me out a little bit, give my Lions a little bit of hope by defeating the Cardinals. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Bill Belichick. I feel like he's gonna get it done. I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
And real quick, guys, they're fighting for a playoff.
Yeah, they're back now. They're back. So
yeah,
they're back in the hunt.
They're back in the hunt. All right, let's get to the big game. The New York Giants, shockingly, well, I don't know, I guess shockingly, because Colt McCoy playing again this week?
Not 100% sure. I didn't read up on that. Maybe Jacob, if he knows, or anybody. I did not look to see if he practiced.
Okay,
today.
the line actually went up from 2.5. It is now 3. The Giants are getting 3 points at home.
Probably not playing. He's probably not playing.
All right, Kenny goes last on this because it's his team. So, Carson, you could start us off. 3 points. Cardinals giving 3 points to the Giants.
like Kyler Murray, I feel like he's special. He's definitely going to be the franchise of the Cardinals. I'm going with the hot Giants right now. I feel like they're a sneaky team. I think somebody said this last week. I think it was me. Like I wouldn't want to face the Giants first round in the playoffs. I just something odd about them that just sparks my interest. I'm gonna go with the Giants here. I think I'm gonna. I'm going with the Giants. Yeah.
Okay. Amari's taking the Cardinals over the Giants. Jacob saying, I'm still upset about Saquon Barkley being injured.
That hurt.
It hurt. It hurt. But you know what, Kenny? It did hurt. But I'm going with Carson, man. There's something about this team. Joe Judge, I like him. He's going to have the team ready. You know what? I think they're gonna take away the running again ability of Kyler Murray, make him beat him through the air. Their Giants defense is legit. Giants are going to run the ball down their throat. Low-scoring game, just like last week. I'll do something like 23-20. Giants and another upset for your Giants, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
I'm just going to throw a couple names out real quick. Anthony Thomas becoming the leader on the offensive line, our first-round pick. Our second-round pick, McKinney, hasn't even stepped in and down because we got Logan Ryan and Peppers. Mm-hmm. McKinney's been hurt. Logan Ryan, excellent. Then he picked up a couple more linemen. He picked up a lineman and then some linebackers. Well, these linebackers last week, Carter Coughlin had a sack. And then a name to remember is Tay Crowder. And the reason why I say that name, he was Mr. Irrelevant last year. Wow, this kid is all over the field, making plays, stepped in for Tyler Fackrell, our starting linebacker who got hurt. And he's doing a phenomenal job as Mr. Irrelevant. So awesome. Kudos to Dave Gettleman for an awesome draft. And another thing, which is mind-boggling, that the Giants are a home underdog, even if Colt McCoy is quarterbacking. Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray's shoulder is banged up.
Yep.
And it's come to the point where I was listening to some podcast today. They said that if the Giants beat the Cardinals this week, don't be surprised if the Cardinals shut down Murray for the rest of the year.
I hope not. He's my fantasy quarterback.
That's how bad the shoulder is.
So
I'm going to take the Giants as a home underdog, and very confident taking the Giants as a home underdog in this game.
Run with them. Okay.
Not to say the Giants' defense is very aggressive and they tackle. I mean, we've heard a couple quarterbacks because of our physicality, accidents, of course, but they better not run Kyler Murray all around. I'd be worried if I was a Cardinal fan this week.
I'm with you. Let's go to my boys, the Broncos. 3.5-point underdogs at Carolina, Carson.
Going Denver. This game's a coin flip. I feel like Denver, though, they've got more talent around them. Panthers, they're still dealing with the whole McCaffrey situation. So I'm gonna go with Denver. I feel like they get the job done. They gave it a good fight against the Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
Jacob saying Panthers are horrible this year. Go ahead, Kenny. What do you think? Is he right?
I'm going to go with Carson, Kurt. I think the Panthers, McCaffrey's coming back, possibly. It's a good chance he's back, but I think Denver does enough.
Well, now, you know what, Kenny? Breaking news. He doesn't expect him to play. Now his hamstring hurts. It's
a nightmare over there, so give me the Broncos.
Okay.
Another outright upset.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, not only because of the McCaffrey thing, I think Denver has more. Not when I'm saying more, I think Drew Lock has more to play for. He's playing for his job next year, and I think Vic Fangio's coaching for his job. So I think Omari's also saying Broncos for the win. Jacob's saying probably Broncos for this one, and I'm going to go with you. It's clean sweep. Not that I'm confident in them, but I just think they got there's a lot of stuff that could change if this stuff doesn't if it doesn't turn around in these last 4 games. I mean, Drew Lock's playing for next year in these next 4 games, so I think you'll get their best effort. Then we're going to go Washington, the football team, the surprising Washington football team at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers got beat the other night by Buffalo. Washington ended the undefeated streak of the Steelers. That game Washington is a 3.5-point underdog to the 49ers. I'm going to start this. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not going against that team. I know Gibson's hurt, but Nick Mullins has just been a disaster for the 49ers. I'm going to take Washington. I'm taking Washington with the points.
I'm with you, Kurt, again.
Yeah, Washington.
Though I'm more reluctant on it, but I like getting the points on this one. Alex Smith revenge game.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to take Washington reluctantly.
Carson, you too. And Will did chime in saying, good show, guys. He will be actually
real quick, Buffalo, and I'll chime in on your show. Well, we didn't get to Buffalo, but Buffalo over Pittsburgh.
Yes. Well, actually, you know what? Will's got 2 minutes. Let's get to it. It's our last pick, but he's saying good show, and I told you guys Washington and the Bills.
Let's do Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and then we'll get back to Washington.
Okay. Go ahead, Ken, start us off.
I got Buffalo. Buffalo, I think Buffalo is home. Pittsburgh lost their first game. I think it piggybacks into this week, and Buffalo pulls off a nice, important victory this week at home.
All right, Kenny, I'm with you, but here's why I think. I think Pittsburgh now, I know they're still going for the number 1 seed, but I think this game means so much for Buffalo. You know, because if you lose this game this week after the Steelers are banged up, they're on the road, you got them in your building. This is like a no-win situation for the Bills. You know, like this loss will hurt them if they lose. But I think they're going to come out. I think the Bills are going to again, I think it's them to show the AFC, hey, we're not going we're here. We're not going anywhere. It's not just Kansas City and Pittsburgh. You better include us. So I think it's going to be like a playoff game for this team. Now, I'm not going to be honest. I'll be honest, Will. I don't know if I would take this if it was a playoff game. I still got to see Josh Allen develop. But this week, I'm going Buffalo. And I think Buffalo big. I think they beat them. I think they make a statement and beat them bad. Carson.
Yeah, this is a big game for Buffalo. I think Buffalo has more to prove than Steelers have. Steelers already kind of, put their footprint on the league itself. Yep. They're going to have a revenge game. They're pissed off about that loss to Washington. I could see. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to say Chase Claypool has 3 touchdowns in this game. I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one, but it's going to be close. It's going to be a very high scoring game. I think it's going to be like a 48-35 type of game. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Nice. And how about
Will's saying? Well, can you get Will is saying. Tough game. I don't know about big. See, I don't know. I think it's a statement game. I really do. I believe that, A lot of those, I believe that that teams have to kind of say like, hey, we better make a statement this week.
Arguably, the AFC Championship against probably the Chiefs, right there.
Yeah.
Steelers, Bills could be facing them in the AFC Championship.
Right.
There's a big game for seedings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we got Carson's pick on Washington and San Fran.
Oh, I Washington.
Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I think, is that all the NFL games, Kurt?
That's all the NFL. We got a little less than
college. We got a few college for this week.
Yeah, we got 7 minutes. Let's just go through them real quick of the games I had.
All right.
Again, not a great slate. Really not a great slate this week. A lot of games canceled. I don't know. I guess what's the biggest game this week? Is it North Carolina, Miami? Let's just run through them real quick. All right, we got LSU at Florida. This is going to be, listen, I just think it's a tune-up to get to the SEC championship game. I don't even, I don't think it's even worth, again, the spread's a little difficult here because are they going to want to just get out of that game healthy to get ready for Alabama? But I'm still going to go Florida covering. I would go Florida.
I'm going LSU, taking the points. I don't think Florida is as good as Bama, and I think LSU will put some points on the board against Florida.
Carson?
Yeah, I'm going Florida big in this one. They've got to make a statement because when they have their game the following week against Alabama, they've got to prove themselves that they can hold their ground and maybe potentially even fight for a playoff spot, which is what they're going for. Yep. So I'm going to go with Florida. This is a big game for them, for the committee for them to maybe put them to 5 maybe next week, depending on what Texas A&M does. But yeah, I'm going Florida here.
All right. Let's get right to your team, Carson. Your guys are getting 14 points from Penn State. You know what? I think Penn State, again, this is a game that could scare me like that Northwestern and the Michigan game, but I think Penn State has a lot of catching up to do. They lost a lot of bad games. I think Franklin's going to be on them. Quarterback is getting back in a little rhythm. Sorry about this one, Carson, but I think Penn State's going to kind of show like, hey, we were a top 15 team. We weren't that team that started 0-4, 0-5. I think Penn State's going to put it on them this week. Kenny.
I want to agree with you, Kurt, but I'm going to disagree. Michigan State seems to bounce back after a big loss, so I'm going to take Penn State with the points. Michigan State with the points.
Danielle S. is saying, "Oh, my little brother goes to Penn State." So,
I'm going to take Michigan State, possibly getting their 3rd victory of the year.
Who are you taking? Michigan State?
Yep.
Okay, Carson.
Yeah, Kenny made a good point. It's like we're such a weird team this year, but I feel like Mel Tucker, he bounces back after just embarrassing losses. Like last week, I kind of knew it was coming. I mean, there was like a small percentage of me that maybe we could hold our ground for maybe the first half, but I probably watched the first 5 minutes of the Ohio State game and just walked away. But yeah, I am shocked by Penn State. I have not seen them this low in a while. I think Mel Tucker, last game of his first season, I feel like he's going to have us ready. I'm going to go with Michigan State in this one. I feel like they're going to get it done over Penn State.
Okay.
And one last point, he has really gotten his team ready for minus Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Got the team ready in Michigan, won against Michigan. Got the team ready against Northwestern, beat Northwestern.
Yeah,
another big game that you have circled on the beginning of the season, Penn State. So this will be their bowl game this week.
Queen of Claws is saying she also picks Michigan State.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, Penn State. Miami hosting North Carolina, Kenny. Big ACC game. Obviously, it doesn't matter for the ACC championship, but still, 2 good teams. They'll be going, they'll probably be going to decent bowls. It's 2.5. I'm going to take Miami. I've seen North Carolina's defense. I saw Virginia just run up and down the field on them. I saw another team, I want to say it was Wake Forest, scored like 50 points on them. I think Miami and King are just going to run it up and down. That I think Miami keeps it going, and they keep again, maybe one of those New Year's Six bowls, alive. So I'm going to take Miami. Carson.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one. I think Miami has more to lose than North Carolina has to gain. I think if Miami puts the pounding on North Carolina, like you said, they could definitely compete for like a New Year's Six
Yep.
bowl. But then again, with North Carolina too, I mean, if this is a big game for them because if they can beat 8-1 Miami, that's a statement for them as well. So I'm gonna go with Miami in this one. But yeah, there's things on the line for both teams here. Like you said, it's not really impacting the ACC championship, but it's gonna be a fun game to watch. But I'm going Miami in this one.
Mr. Kirkpatrick.
With you guys with Miami, angry Miami, because they're only a one-loss team. Their only loss has been the Clemson. And if Notre Dame was independent, they would be in this ACC championship against Clemson.
Yep, they would.
So they're angry, and they're going to take it out on North Carolina big. High scoring big. They end up winning by at least 10 points.
Okay. We got 3 minutes left, Mr. Kirkpatrick and Mr. Carson, because I hope Jenny Hoops is making dinner because I haven't eaten dinner and I'm absolutely starving tonight. But we got 2 more picks. We're going to get back to Big Ten action in a pretty good game. Little disappointing Wisconsin. They're a playoff team and, they've hit a little rock bottom. So they are giving 2.5 points to Iowa. I'll start this one, Carson. I'm taking the outright upset. I'm not a fan of Wisconsin now. You know what? I'm not. They were talking about, what's the guy's name? Mertz. Oh, he's going to be a Heisman candidate after that week 1. But you know what? This disappointing loss to Northwestern. They lost again to Indiana without Kenny's, lover boy, the quarterback he loves over there. And I'm sorry. You know what? I'm taking Iowa. Carson.
Yeah, Iowa is probably one of the toughest teams to beat in the whole country when they're home. There's just a different atmosphere there. I know that there's no fans there, but I really feel like, it's because they have the whole story with, the Children's Hospital right next to them. And I feel like that's why they're so dominant at home, because they're playing not only for them, but they're playing for the kids in the hospital next door too. I know they lost Northwestern earlier in the year, but I feel like they're going to roll Wisconsin big in this one.
Kenny.
Agree. Iowa, you guys hit all the points, so we can get into the next game.
All right, last game on the dock, and this is a game I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna watch this. There's not many games that I'm gonna be pumped up for. It's not a great weekend. I'm ready for next weekend because Carson, I'm ready for that ACC championship, baby.
Yeah,
I cannot wait. By the way, I cannot wait for that game. I'll be wearing some kind of orange, Bronco orange. I'll have some kind of orange on that night.
Please wear Bronco orange, and I know I got the victory.
But I'm excited for this game. USC at UCLA. UCLA and Chip Kelly had a bad opening night, but you know what? They've been bouncing back. They are a 2.5 point underdog, and I'm going to take it right now, Kenny, outright. UCLA beats USC. Carson.
Yeah, you're. Oh man, I was going to pick USC, but you're kind of. You might have convinced me there. I think that UCLA could definitely pull this one off. USC is. I mean, obviously they had that scare. I mean, they had a couple of close games. Arizona and Arizona State barely got by with that crazy onside kick shenanigans earlier in the year. You know what? You sold me. I'm going to go UCLA as well. Chip Kelly, maybe a big game for him, beating a ranked opponent at home. I'm going UCLA. You sold me.
And I could tell you again, knowing Kenny for 45 years, 35, whatever, 5 years. I know where he's going. He's going just with us. He's going. I know before we said it, Carson.
Just pull a string. That's it. Yep.
I know it.
You're right. You didn't even sell me. I was going UCLA.
I know.
I don't like USC burned me week 1 with that.
He is not a USC fan.
Wednesday, it was my outright upset. They were 11.5 point underdog, outplayed the team the whole game, and then they get lucky at the end like that. You forgot 2 games, Kurt, real quick.
Okay.
Coastal and Troy is playing. Coastal, do they get a New Year's Bowl?
Yes.
Coastal, I think, is a 15-point favorite over Troy.
Yep, they get a New Year's. If they go undefeated, they get a New Year's Bowl.
They'll be undefeated, and I think they cover.
Well, I'll tell you this: next week they got to play Louisiana in that conference championship, and they only beat them 30-27 last week. So
Louisiana beat Iowa
and they
State.
beat Iowa State, so that's going to be a good game next week. But I'm going
And
to
then,
take them.
how do you like Carson? You like Coastal?
Yeah, I mean they. I was
BYU.
kind of on the fence with them because their whole what their conference are in, but I mean when they beat a legit team in BYU, I definitely feel like they've got more to prove. So I'm riding with the wave. I'm going Coastal Carolina.
Okay.
I said BYU last week was going to beat them, but
Me too.
I mean, they definitely changed my
they made
mind.
me a believer.
So,
And then the last game, I don't know the point spread, but the most important game of the week, guys, Army-Navy.
Mm.
The Army-Navy game.
Army. I'm going Army.
You're going Army?
Yeah.
I'm going Navy. Annapolis is about 20 minutes from me, downtown Annapolis, where the Navy midshipmen play. And I was actually, before COVID started, I was looking to see who they played this year, and I was going to try and go to a game or two. But it didn't happen. And I'm going to take Navy in the outright upset.
Okay.
Mm.
I know Army's 7-2 and Navy's 3-6. Kind of a down year for Navy.
Yep.
I'm going to take them winning this game.
Carson.
Yeah, I always enjoy looking forward to this game every
Me
year
too.
because it doesn't matter what their records are. I mean, they are gonna go hard at it no matter who has a better record, who doesn't have a better record. I mean, Army obviously they've dominated the series in the history with this, but God, you convinced me, Kenny. I'm gonna go with Navy. Just for some reason, I feel like they're gonna shock Army. They're gonna come out swinging, and they're gonna pull off the upset.
You know the one thing I don't
normally
like?
pick Army, but I'm going Navy with this.
I got to check out, guys. I want to see the uniforms. They said you got to see.
Oh, yeah, they're supposed to be awesome. You know what I don't like, though? Not that I don't like. I mean, listen, there's nothing you can do. Is I like when this is the only game. Like every year, it's like the only game on. This year, it's going to blend in with some games. There's not a lot of great games, so. But I love when the whole country is watching that game, and it's like the only game on a Saturday. But it's all. I told Jen I want to go to. They said Jody and Mike have gone, Kenny, and they said it's just unbelievable to attend one of those Army Navy games.
When they play in Annapolis,
they're playing in the Meadowlands the next 2 years, or 2 out of the 3 years.
Maybe we'll make that a road trip next year with the Army Navy.
The problem, everybody and their mother's going to want to go.
Yeah, just quick shot to everybody who has served for our country or is currently serving. Big props to you guys.
Absolutely, Carson. Absolutely,
everybody.
Absolutely.
Sure. Definitely. We want to do anything else, Kurt, or we done for this evening?
I think we're done for this evening. We have like a minute left.
All right.
Hoops is making some dinner.
I want to thank Carson again for coming on.
Absolutely, Carson. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Carson Shear, guys. Ticket time Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Right, Carson?
Yep, you got it.
Like casino games, check them out. We do some live streams once in a while with Carson. Win some good money. I know he had an amazing night the other night. Go check that video out.
Carson, I didn't want to say, but I heard, Carson. I heard.
I told Kurt what was going on. He's like, oh my God. Yeah. Go check it out.
Hey, it's Christmas time, right? It's Christmas time. You can't get hurt by that.
And if you enjoy arcade games, or you got kids out there, they like arcade games, claw machines, those type of things, check out Carson Claws on YouTube.
Absolutely.
And then also check out our friend Will Colon on Viva Los Builds.
Yep.
Facebook, I-95 Network, YouTube, and Zingo TV, right, Kurt?
Yes.
And again, thanks, Kurt, for doing the Toys for Tots for everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, thank everybody. It's awesome. I mean, what I'll do is we'll get a picture when we get everything, and we'll post it up. Can you see everything? I mean, it's so much stuff. It's crazy. We got much stuff. Well, honestly, like Jen said the other day, like we don't have cars going to be full. We might have to take 2 cars. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Everybody, stay safe out there. Vaccines are on the way. We'll get 2021 rolling soon, and maybe have a little bounce back year for everybody.
Absolutely.
And have some road trips and do some fun stuff.
And you know what I'm fired about? Since my Auburn's, well, they play Saturday, but their season's over. My Broncos are in trouble. But tomorrow night at 7:30, you know what I'm going to watch, Carson? A little New York Knicks basketball. That's what I'm going to watch tomorrow night.
Against the Pistons, right?
I'm going to watch a little New York Knicks basketball.
We'll
So
have a little fun with that one.
Ball in action or not. It'll be interesting to see if he steps on the floor or not.
that's it. I'm
We'll
ready.
start doing some basketball talk soon with the NBA and college basketball. We'll start
Absolutely.
when the football gets a little slower.
Let you know I'm going to put Carson on the spot right now because I don't know if Hoops is watching. Who would have won that game last night? Would you have gone into Charlottesville and win that game?
That's such a tough call. Yeah, we would have. It would have been a great game to watch, though. I was really bummed when I heard that game was canceled. But yeah, we're. I know we lost Cassius and Xavier, but we're definitely clicking.
Yes, you guys are.
Is that the Big Ten ACC challenge?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You canceled that one. I was going to say we need to have a little fun little wager.
There's some great games. I'm telling you, some great games. I watched the game last night. Northwestern choked that game against Pitt last night. They were up by like 14, and then Pitt comes back and Pitt beat North. I mean, it was like a 9-1 run to win the game. But there's been some great games.
Mm-hmm.
Great games.
Always between those two conferences.
Yeah. You know who looks legit though? Are you afraid of Iowa and Mr. Garza this year?
Luka Garza, he is one special man. He's going to be a great NBA player. He's got everything. I love Luka Garza. Ever since he was a freshman, I just knew he was going to be special. And sure enough, he's. I mean, his numbers are ridiculous. He's averaging like 25 points.
Oh, it's great, and he shoots from outside. I mean, it's he's got it all.
You sold me at Luka. That's all you need to know.
That team's good.
Yeah.
Get him next year on the Knicks, baby.
I tell you, I wish we took Winston. I thought he would. That's the kind of guy they need, is like a point guard like that. I think Winston's going to be like a little Rajon Rondo. I really do. I think he's going to be in that mold.
Mm-hmm.
What's the word out in Detroit? Are you happy about the Pistons, real quick? I know we're chatting away here. But.
Killian Hayes is supposed to start, according to our coach Casey. He said he's going to start, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I like the fact that the connection with him and Sekou, together they both played in France, and he's got pro experience overseas. I kind of dig that more than a college guy kind of stepping into the NBA blind for the first time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, I think he said he's like 5th best odds to win Rookie of the Year. So if he could pull it off, that'd be pretty sweet.
I'm pumped up to watch that tomorrow night.
Yeah, sure.
So
once again, I want to thank everybody for coming on, Carson.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for the comments.
Everybody who joined from Ticket Time tonight, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yep.
Appreciate everything. Again, we'll see you next time. Carson, have a great week. I'll be in touch.
Yeah, you too. Always a pleasure, guys.
All right, boys. Enjoy the game. See you next week.
I'm actually have a rare Saturday off, so I'll be chiming in on the stream.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. Hell yeah, sweet. All right, we'll see you
guys later.